The newest season of Overwatch 2 is just around the corner, and with it comes some exciting changes. During our Overwatch 2 What's Next panel at BlizzCon 2023, we shared a sneak peek at some of our philosophy guiding many of the system changes coming this year, striving to make PvP gameplay more rewarding and fun, and providing greater transparency for players in-game. We're introducing major changes to competitive in the new season, from a progression system to an all-new skill tier above Grandmaster, as well as major gameplay changes to combat hero survivability. You haven't played Overwatch in a while, basically you either feel like you don't die and you can't kill anything, or you explode. Read for details on what you can expect in the Overwatch 2 Season 9 Champions. Update and competitive experience. We've heard your feedback on competitive play over the last 8 seasons, and we have some big updates coming that will give you the opportunity to build on your skills and see how you progress through the competitive ranks. We built a system, or a better system, it's more accurate, while also helping convey the meaning behind the mathematical complexity of a modern matchmaker and bring clear insight about what impacts your rank every match. Seeing how your rank changes. One piece of feedback we heard is that just knowing your rank doesn't say anything about why your rank went up or down. Competitive updates originally worked to provide updates that reflect your growth as a player across multiple matches. But with that goal to provide greater transparency in each individual match, we are still going to be updating your rank after each match and showing how much progress you gain or lose between each skill division. We are also displaying modifiers that affect your last match below the rank progression bar. Some modifiers help provide transparency in the matchmaking for each match, like getting a boost when you defeat a team that was more favored to win, while other modifiers show if your rank is calibrating, like going on a huge win streak, proving you belong in a higher rank. That's not for any of you guys though. I'm just kidding. Feedback is a driving force behind these changes, and we want to hear your thoughts on competitive play now that you'll have more context each game. So look at this. Rank promotion progress. So here's the whole bar out of 100%. The progress bar shows how much rank you've increased as a result of a match. The bigger the highlighted section, the more rank was gained or lost. The reason why more rank might have been gained or lost are explained in the modifiers below. Win streak, bonus for high win rate. Loss streak, penalty for high loss rate. So if you're one of those people that goes on a 20-game losing streak, oh, you're gonna suffer. Calibration, bonus for high win rate. Uphill battle. So this is probably Smurf for like brand new accounts. Calibration. So you're either going to go up really high or down really fast. Uphill battle. You weren't favored, but you won. Reversal. You were favored, but you lost. Volatile. You lost calibration matches after ranking up. Oh, dude, that's like yeah, we thought you were better than you were. Consolation. You weren't favored and you lost. Oh, that's kind of nice. Expected. You were favored and you won. Wow, that's kind of nuts, actually. So if you win games you're expected, you don't get as many points. If you lose games you're expected to lose, you don't lose as many points. But if you win games you weren't expected to win, you get more. Or if you lose games you weren't expected to lose, you lose more. And it seems like they're also putting in ways to, like, you know, basically climb faster or fall faster, right? Note, calibration subnote has been updated. It's supposed to say your rank is uncertain. Okay, it now says your rank is uncertain. Okay, understandable. Bring a fresh start with placement matches and rank resets. So this is for the next season. With both the changes to competitive play and the broader changes to gameplay this season, we feel this is a perfect opportunity for everyone to fresh start as they compete on the ranked leaderboards. To accomplish this, we're reintroducing placement matches and resetting everyone's competitive skill rank. Your journey to the top begins with 10 all new placement matches, with everyone's ranks being reset. These 10 placement matches provide you with a high stakes opportunity to make big gains in determining your new starting rank. As you progress through placement matches, there will be a predicted starting rank after each match. You'll only have one chance this year to run your placement matches, so pick your best heroes and stay hydrated because those games count for a lot. So, from what I was told yesterday in stream, there were some devs in chat, the way they said that this is going to end up working is everyone's going to be pretty much pushed to the average, right? So if you're a really high ranked player, you're going to get pushed down to where the average is. And if you're a low ranked player, you're going to be pushed up to the average. So it's like, I don't think it's like everyone's starting over, but it's like kind of like if you were up at the top, you're probably going to go down to like plat diamond. And if you were at the bronze, you're going to come up to like gold plat. You know what I mean? So like everyone's going to be in that beginning smush, and then the good players are going to climb quick and the bad players are going to fall fast. So it's going to be a shit show in the beginning. Everyone might be gold to diamond. So I guess there's a chance you could have insanely good players in your games, and for at least the beginning. Doesn't Siege do this? I've been out of Siege a long time, and that Siege didn't do that when I used to play, so I don't know about that anymore. But could be kind of crazy. Could be a good time. Hey, good time to prove yourself though. If you're good at the game and you think you deserve to be higher, this is a good opportunity for you, you know? Or little Timmy's about to get stomped. Either way, who knows? But I think it's going to be a fun time. So here's a look at what the placements is going to look like. Predicted rank calculated by wins and losses. Placement rank 8 out of 10. Predicted rank gold 1. So like win, loss, win, draw, win. It's predicting that they will be gold 1. It looks good. Like it's nice. I don't know. Is there any other games that also tell you what you're going to be placed, like predicting wise? I think Apex does, right? I think Apex does now, right? But it looks good. No, I thought Apex, as you played your first 10 placements, it like kind of gave you an idea, but maybe I'm wrong on that. League does? Okay. Super Noodle, thank you for the 3 months. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, I'll go through all the subs and stuff at the end. There's so many guys. I appreciate you guys so much though. I hope you guys know that. But it's nice to kind of know where you sit on the ranking as you're still going. So it doesn't feel like the placements are totally useless. Rise up to the rank of champion. So how high can you go? We're introducing the ultimate rank champion. This is the most prestigious tier above Grandmaster, intended to show who is the best among the most skilled players in the game. Even with the boosts that placement matches can provide, top ranking players will still need to win a lot of games to reach Champion 1 and prove that they are the best of the best. This is the most exclusive rank in the history of Overwatch, and we're on the edge of our seats to see who will achieve the heights in Season 9 and beyond. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. New competitive rewards and Jade weapons. Season 9 introduces Jade weapon variants, unlockable with the 2024 competitive points. Earning Jade weapon variants will reflect your dedication to the competitive play of 2024, not your highest rank achieved. Wait, what? Luckily, these new Jade weapon variants will not be as exclusive as the champion rank. You will progress towards earning competitive points just by playing the game mode, with more progress granted towards wins. Competitive points earned each for winning and drawing a match have been rebalanced around this new progression system, which should make every match feel more rewarding regardless of the outcome. I wish they kind of specified what that balance would end up looking like. I mean, me personally, I'm not a big fan of the Jade. Like, the green just kind of looks to me. But I do like that they're doing it. They're finally branching past gold. So even though it might not be for me, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that will like them. And then hopefully something comes in the future, like let's say diamond weapons, that I will enjoy. I'll be like, oh shit, I really like those, right? So it's like a first step type of thing, which I think is very, very good. Legacy, competitive points, and golden weapons. Oh, I think it goes into it now, actually. Through the end of Season 8, players can still earn competitive points unlocking gold weapon variants. When Season 9 starts, your previously earned competitive points will be converted to legacy competitive points? What? Your competitive points from Season 8 are converted to legacy competitive points. You'll still be able to use legacy competitive points to unlock the golden weapon variants. but the way you receive legacy points, legacy competitive points will change. Once the 2024 competitive year closes, any leftover 2024 competitive points will be automatically converted and added to your legacy competitive points, which can be used to unlock gold weapon variants. End of competitive year. Wait, what? Is this more of it? Starting in season 9, competitive challenges that grant bonus competitive points are also changing. Season 8 will be the last season to claim end of season competitive changes for seasons 1 through 7. What? Oh, this is the in-game challenges. Okay, like dailies, whatnot. Log in for the end of season 8 and try to grab any rewards from season 7 or earlier that you haven't claimed yet. Once season 9 begins, you will be unable to receive past competitive points from completed competitive challenges from season 7 or earlier. You'll still be able to claim your season 8 rewards during season 9, but you must log in and receive that bonus before the end of season 9. Okay, so basically what's going to happen at the start of season 9 is your competitive points are going away and they're being converted to legacy competitive points, which can still be used for gold guns, but it's wiping everyone clean. Like the slate is starting, like, good example, right? If you see in the top right, I have 10,100 competitive points. So at this point right now, I could buy at least 3 jade weapons, right? So basically, I think what they're trying to do is to keep people who have like tons of points from being able to keep using them like that. But at the same time though, I don't know how I feel about it. I think it probably is gonna make a lot of people really confused. Because you can still use the legacy points for gold weapons, but it seems like the new points is going to be only for jade, and then it's another currency, right? It's like credits versus coins, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things kind of there, and I would assume from the way this is worded is that my 2024 rewards, like for this year, at the end of the year, is also going to be converted to legacy points, in which then I can use them for gold weapons or jade or not jade. Probably not. Like, they might not be doing it. It might be a 1 season thing or a 1 year thing. So I'm not a huge fan of the way they're doing that. I really don't like that. I think that if you want to make jade exclusive to 2024, I think you can do that without changing the way the code work, the points work. Because it just makes it more confusing, and I think it's going to turn a lot of people off to the idea. So, FOMO tactics on weapon skins. Well, it's not like they're trying to farm you for money. You can't buy these. These are competitive rewards. If I'm quite honest, I don't think there's a big problem with having FOMO for earnable rewards, because it encourages you to play and to earn them, not pull out your credit card, which I think is a different conversation to have at that point. I don't mind it. I'm not against it. I don't really like the whole idea of like having multiple currencies. You know what I mean? So let's continue. Oh, here we go. We're getting to the patch notes, I think. Introducing changes to core gameplay. Beyond the competitive rework, Season 9 features major changes to the fundamentals of Overwatch 2. Gameplay that affects every hero. We've heard the community's feedback around some gameplay pain points and developed changes to the core gameplay with these goals in mind. Deliver a more consistent feel to firing and landing your shots on opponents. I'm just going to ask the question. Listen, I'm not trying to flame, but I want to ask, who thought this? Who's one of their big things was like hitting your shots? Lessen the impact of burst damage to allow greater counterplay. That's a good one. Yes, agreed, for sure. Adjust where in-game healing and damage are effective to reduce stagnant team fights. Yes. So basically, number 1 and number 2 play into each other, because from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, it felt like you went from shooting shields to either shooting unkillable targets / exploding, right? I think that's how like most people feel about Overwatch these days. Yeah, so basically people felt like you either just don't die or you explode, and that's how Overwatch felt. All these changes have been designed to work in combination to balance each other out, and we're excited for you to get in the game and experience them all at once. Making your shots feel good to hit. Holy shit. One of our main goals with these adjustments is to make firing your weapon and abilities feel more consistent without impacting the time to eliminate a target and without removing the overall feel of the gameplay you all know and love. While examining how burst damage values have changed over time, we found that in most cases they've gone down in raw value, though that may not necessarily mean they've become a weaker relative to other heroes. Whoa, wait, what? What? They think that burst went down in raw value? I'm confused. The 5v5 environment and new heroes of Overwatch 2 certainly factor into that perspective, but it's often overlooked that players' base average skill level, game knowledge, and pace of gameplay are relatively higher now than when the game first launched. Yes, for Overwatch 2, absolutely, for sure, that's true. Which is why a lot of people talk about like the support passive is a good example, where it was desperately needed at the start of Overwatch 2. Because support was struggling, but as people learned how to play the role and a lot of changes got made, like people were like, okay, like we don't need this anymore, like now it's too much. Projectile size changes. Plus 0.05 meters for hit scan projectiles with a fire rate or the high fire rate or spread, e.g. Tracer's pulse pistols or Reaper's Hellfire shotguns. A 0.08 meters for hit scan projectiles that are more precise, e.g. Cassidy's Peacemaker or Peacekeeper and Soldier 76's pulse rifle. A plus 0.05 meters to travel time projectiles that are shotguns or have a very high rate of fire, example Roadhog's scrap gun or Ramatra's Void Accelerator. A plus 0.1 meters of travel time projectile with a speed greater than 50 meters per second, otherwise known as Zenyatta's destruction orbs. So not discord orbs, something like that. Left click, right clicks. A plus 0.15 meters for travel time projectiles with a speed less than or equal to 50 meters per second. Rockets or Farah's rocket launcher, and very large projectiles with a base size greater than 0.5 meters have been excluded from these increases, otherwise known as Orissa's energy javelin or Reinhardt's fire strike. Holy shit. When it comes to aiming as a mechanical skill requirement, even players with excellent aim often mention how it can feel random whether shots hit or not. But like, doesn't that mostly come down to like server issues half the time? It's not the projectile sizes, you know? Due largely in part to the whip speed movement acceleration heroes. Due largely in part to the whip speed movement acceleration heroes have when changing direction. Combined with all of the dashing, leaping, teleporting abilities, hitting your target can feel very difficult. Crisp response movement is something important to the core gameplay feel, so we wouldn't want to slow down player movement. Instead, we're improving hit consistency by making both damage dealing hit scan and travel time projectiles larger. Heroes that have weapons or abilities that don't benefit from any projectile size changes will receive additional balance changes. However, we don't want to make too many hero adjustments before getting a better understanding of the effects that from these initial changes. So tune in for more on individual heroes in future updates. So, okay, let's talk. Basically, to break this down to make it a little bit more simplified, they are globally making the sizes of projectiles, hit scan and projectile like normal, like Hanzo arrow, bigger, which means that you will hit more shots. There's a couple things that you have to think about there, right? The first thing that jumps to mind is by making everyone's bullets bigger, you kind of lower, or the perception of feel is that you're lowering the skill of the game, right? Because it's so much easier to hit shots now, or if it's going to be easier to hit shots, you're not going to be as rewarded for having good aim, right? In an FPS game, having good aim is a very good skill to have. However, Overwatch isn't exactly a traditional FPS game. It has a lot of MOBA elements as well. I will say I will give them credit to this part of like the whip movement speed acceleration heroes when they have when changing directions. That sounds like they're talking about AD strafing. If that is what they're talking about, I highly disagree. I think AD strafing is movement is a skill. Because you always see, like, if you see like a silver player try to 80 strafe, they hit the button so fast they're like barely moving their character, while more skilled players understand their hitbox and like how far they have to move, and it's something you learn with time, so it becomes a skill. But at the same time though, if they're talking about like how, like, you know, tracer blink or you know, Hanzo leap, like these very small bursts, right, that would happen, maybe make it harder to like the server to keep up on those shots. But we've also played Overwatch for years, and that wasn't really a problem until Overwatch 2 at the beginning. But I think a lot of those have been changed and fixed, a lot of those original problems. But I also don't think it's like I don't know if it's an in-game issue or if it's like a lot of people talk about like, and this isn't my expertise, okay? I'm just kind of telling you what I've read. It's like people talk about like tick rate of servers and like 60 versus 120 and how fast the game refreshes, stuff like that. This seems like going a different way. It seems like they're trying to just do it their own way without maybe having to pay for better servers. You know, I think about something like a Hanzo arrow, right? Does Hanzo already is pretty spammy, you know what I mean? Like if you made Hanzo arrows even bigger, what? You know what I mean? This isn't really a topic that can be judged until you tried it for a few weeks. I mean, you could say that with literally any balance change, but it's not impossible to say that that's increasing the size of projectiles period across the board is not going to have a major effect, whether it makes every single person be able to hit more shots or if it just lowers the overall skill ceiling of the game. We don't know that. But yeah, anyways though, a lot to think about there. This is insane though. This is arguably one of the biggest changes of Overwatch ever. Adjusting health pools to balance gameplay. Since we're increasing the average accuracy of all heroes and want to keep time to kill similar, we're also increasing everyone's maximum health. We've already balanced damage values, damage boosts, and critical damage breakpoints, and other factors around 200 to 250 HP heroes. So the new health ends up requiring, ends up requiring at least one more hit from most heroes to eliminate an enemy. Holy shit. Health pool changes. 150 to 175 HP heroes increase by 25. 200 to 300 HP heroes increase by 50. 300 plus HP tanks increase by 75 to 100 HP. 200 HP Widow is back. 175 HP Tracer. Potentially 300 HP Mei. Potentially 300 HP Reaper. Potentially 700 HP Rhine. Hey, needed by the way, W. But that also means potentially 550 HP Doomfist, 400 HP Bastion. Wait, is it unironically over for Genji? 100 damage per blade swing? Oh my god. Yeah, Genji's toast. Holy shit. 800 HP Roadhog? Nah. Well, I mean, it is 75 to 100, so it could be either one. That's speculation, obviously. That's crazy. Bigger projectile sizes plus more HP on heroes across the board? That's wild. 275 HP Zen. Okay, you just ruined my day. Did you feel better now? Do you feel better? You just ruined my whole day. I was having fun here, okay? You didn't have to say that. You didn't have to say 250 HP Zen, okay? That's dude. 250 HP Mercy? Okay. Wait, 250 HP Mercy, wait a minute. You know, honestly, it might not be that scary if you think about it, because like Mercy's whole thing is about being harder to hit and like flying around. But if the bullets are bigger, she should be easier to hit, right? I don't know. It might actually be it actually might be a net negative trade-off. Oh, here's a big one. Giving more self-reliance in team fights. We also want to make sure that the flow of the team fight doesn't take away from individual player decisions that can determine the outcome of a match. Tanks already have a significant role in each team fight, as they often are the ones that take space and determine where the fight takes place. Whereas we want to enable more critical decision making among the damage and support roles. What? What are you talking about? Are you nuts? This isn't Overwatch 1 anymore. Yeah, the tanks take space and determine where, but they sit on the corner half the time and don't do anything. They're too scared. Granted, that might change with the HP changes. But again, you just sit there and try not. What do you mean that DPS and support need more info and more impact? What are you high? Like, are you crazy? The change in projectile size and health pool effectively reduce the impact of burst damage and tones down the relative strength of healing. Don't know if I agree with that one, but meaning it will take longer to heal someone from 1 HP to full health. Okay, I understand that, but I feel like that's kind of like a gotcha, you know? To ease the friction of an increased time to fully heal out allies out of combat and enable support players to make more informed decisions on who they heal, everyone now regenerates health passively at a rate of 20 healing per second after 5 seconds of not taking damage. And the support passive heal has been adjusted to 2.5 seconds. This is the big self-healing that everyone's been talking about. 20 healing after 5 seconds of not taking damage is pretty big though. Not the healing part, but 5 seconds. There's not a whole lot of times in a fight where you're not taking damage. On tank specifically, right? You can't go sit around the corner on tank for 5 seconds. That doesn't work. Like, it's the same argument when people talked about like Discord Orb, and they're like, just go around a corner. Well, that's why we added the counterplay to it, because you just go around the corner, they come back, you have to come out eventually, and then you get Discorded again, right? You have to be in the fight, but this will benefit DPS and a ton, and support still has their original one. I wonder if it, yeah, I mean, the support one's still there, but it will definitely benefit DPS a lot. DPS, I think it benefits Sombra, Tracer, Widow, especially. Widow's a good one because, like, a lot of times Widows are really far away from fights. Ashe, if you don't have a mercy pocket. If you have the flank soldier. Pharah, I guess, if you don't have a mercy pocket, but at that point also, like, I think it's a net negative because projectiles are bigger. Echo, maybe. Echo, yeah, I'd give you Echo. But again, projectiles are bigger, so I don't know if it's a net win or not. Ball, maybe? Ball? I'll give you Ball. Ball could be. Yeah, I'll give you Ball. Ball's pretty... I'll give you that one. That's not bad. An increase to health pools and weakening of burst damage means that heroes live longer and team fights will take longer to conclude. To combat some of the potentially extreme situations here, we're also introducing a new damage passive. What? Empowering them to more easily fulfill their role in securing elimination. Reduce in-combat healing and potentially add a additional strategic layer to focus fire targets. Wait, what? All new role passive. Okay, passively regenerate 20 health per second after not taking damage for 5 seconds. New damage passive. Damage dealing heroes reduce the target's healing received by 20%. Oh my god. Wow, this is going to be the season of the DPS. Holy shit. Updated support role passive will now begin regenerating after 2.5 seconds. Tank role passive, reduced knockbacks received, less ultimate charge generated by healing and damaging received, increased health in role queue and in-game modes. So tank passive isn't changed, supports gets a small update, and DPS get an amazing passive. The tank passive's always been kind of, the DPS passive's always been a little bit kind of trash, except for heroes like Ashe, and then for heroes like Hanzo, it's been non-existent. But DPS is going to be insane now. Focus firing tanks is probably going to be super useful now, which in turn now makes your supports kind of have to heal your tank, because if they don't, you're going to die. But also the better style is to do damage a lot of times over just raw healing. So, but also, wait a minute, this also means pocketed heroes aren't going to be as powerful. So like if they have a Sojourn Mercy and then you take the duel on, say, I don't know, what's a good example? Maybe Tracer. You take the duel against the Sojourn on Tracer. The healing that Sojourn's going to be getting is 20% less because you're shooting him. That's insane. That's a nerf to pocketing, which we were just talking about Mercy when you guys got stuck with ads, on how Mercy probably is going to lose in a lot of these because of the increased projectiles, because like her whole thing is about movement. That means Mercy probably loses even harder because her pocketing isn't as good, and that means she's going to be easier to hit. No wonder they've been getting so many skins recently. They're trying to butter them up before they hit them with the fattest nerf of 2024. That's crazy. At its core, Overwatch 2 is a competitive game, so it's important for the core systems and competitive system to be as intuitive and accessible as possible. In addition to these core system changes, we've introduced reworks to Farah and Junkertown, which we'll go into in a later blog. Wait, today's Thursday. It comes out next Tuesday, so the blog would have to either be tomorrow or Monday. For now, let us know what you think of when Overwatch 2 Season 9 Champions launches on February 13th. All right, so I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts on this. Farah rework is cool. This might be a little mean. But this is like kind of what I was talking about and asking for in reverse for the longest time. I was talking about for the longest time we needed global DPS. Sorry, we need global damage and healing nerfs to DPS, tank, and support, period, across the board. And it seems they went the opposite. So instead of nerfing everybody down, they probably didn't want to get people pissed, because like, let's talk like psychologically, people get really mad when their characters get nerfed. So they were like, we'll just buff everyone's health. Which, granted, that's crazy power creep. But they kind of did it, just what I said we really needed, but in reverse. But here's the problem though. Ready? There's a big problem here. I don't think anybody's really even seen. I've been looking at chat. I haven't seen anyone say this yet. And it's part of why, listen, I think they've been doing like great content wise. I just think their tank balance philosophy is terrible. I'm sorry. Like, and I mean that respectfully. Like, consistently the tank balance is terrible across the board in Overwatch 2. But there's something I need to point to you really quick. If every character is getting extra health, right? Every character is getting extra health. Support, I don't know what changes they're getting to their damage, if any, right? But their passive got to change, and everyone gets healing passive. So theoretically, you should be able to be doing more damage as a support, right? Like doing it more often. DPS has this new passive where when you hit somebody and do damage, their healing received is 20% less, which means even if they begin to get pocketed by somebody, you can still cut through it and kill them. Tank has received 0 changes to that though, which means your killing stopping power on tank is going to be likely much worse, because you can if a target is getting focused by a tank, the other support or any support can still focus them and pocket them through any damage you try to do. But if you're playing on the DPS or support role, you can kill them through it. Because say characters like Ana, anti them. Kiri, headshots will cut through that. You do too much burst. Bap, you can't miss. You do so much sustained damage. Plus you're gonna have increased bullet size. So like, you're probably not gonna be missing at all, right? A lot of the tanks, it's hard to miss their stuff, right? Like, you're not gonna miss a Reinhardt swing. It's hard to miss Zarya's left click. It's hard to miss Diva's shotguns. It's hard to miss, other than like, there's some characters like Sigma, for example, right? Like Sigma's kind of hard to hit, but like most of them, you know what I mean? Like most of them, you don't really miss that often, right? So I feel like you're probably not gonna get kills as often. You're not gonna be able to still kill anything. So you'll survive a lot longer until the DPS focus you, and then which you don't get as much healing, but you also won't have killing power or stopping power. Granted, we have to see all the patch notes before we can make a huge assessment, right? Based on like, you know, if they change any damage numbers or healing numbers or anything like that across the board, because they did say in here that they want to make changes, but they don't want to make too many until like they feel it out and see how these changes will go. But I feel, looking at this, that DPS are feasting. Support either is going to be about the same or maybe a small loser in it, maybe. And tank gets nothing again. Like, tank's just going to survive longer. So, like, you get to sit there and enjoy the CC slate a little bit longer. You know what I mean? We'll see. I mean, we don't know everything until all the changes come out, right? We won't know anything until the changes come out. But if that is the only change for the tank role, I don't think the tank role is going to be that much better. You just won't explode as often, you know? There are more changes, though. That's true, which is why I'm saying I'm going to reserve judgment, like official judgment, until I see all the changes. But until then, off of what I'm seeing currently in front of me and the current philosophy that is being taken, I'm a little disappointed. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Obviously that can change once all the patch notes get released and we see everything. We can open up the book and go through everybody one by one. But again, we don't have that yet. Rebase patch Overwatch 2. Okay, Overwatch 2 Season 9 is launching on February 13th, and we are featuring some new game updates. The patch will be a rebase patch, which will require a very large download for all players on all platforms. Rebase patches consolidate our patches into the core game, which in the long run keeps the final data size of the client manageable for both PC and console. Oh, that's cool. You will need to have as much as 38 gigabytes of free space on your system when updating. If you do not have that much space, you can also uninstall the game client and reinstall it in full after the patch go live on February 13th. We understand some of our players may have limited bandwidth or data and download large updates, and we apologize for any inconvenience that this causes you. Thank you for your understanding. You know what's funny is like that they're right. That is kind of a bit of an inconvenience, but I like that they do that. Honestly, more games should do this. You know, like the days of 300 gigabyte games is ridiculous. That's stupid. 38 gigabytes is whack. What? 38 in 2024 is not crazy. No. Hey, we can sit here and shit talk Overwatch for a lot of things. We ain't doing that one. Like, COD has like 300 gigabytes for their game. 38 is bad? Oh, come on now. I bought this back in 2014. It's a 5 terabyte hard drive. In 2014, I bought this for like $100. Okay? No shot. We're gonna say 38 gigabytes is a lot. This is 5 terabytes. If you really need space, you can make it happen for pretty cheap nowadays. It just might not be an SSD. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that bad. I wish more games did this. I actually like that they did this.
Of these changes, at least we are getting big base changes to the game, which is nice.
True.